morning, everyone. Welcome to another virtual class discussion. I am Girly Bermudez Enate.
And I am Franco Miguel F. Olarte. We are your facilitators for today.
Hi class, it's me, Teacher Girly again. Before we start our class, let us first have our prayer through a video presentation.
Please bow your heads and let us pray. Dear Jesus, you show me how to spend this day sharing your love in every way. Help me to be kind to everyone, to play and love and have lots of fun, shining your light and giving your grace, sharing your joy with a smile on my face. Angel of God, my guardian dear, with whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen.
Once again, best morning class. How was your weekend? Well, that's good to hear that you are good today. You have a great weekend and you are virtually present here inside the platform. To know if everyone is inside the platform already, class secretary, kindly list down the attendance for today. After the class, send to me the attendance check. Is that understood, Miss Class Secretary? Okay, thank you. This time, before we move forward, let me read to you first our learning objectives and house rules. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, you students are expected to: Number 1. Evaluate prior knowledge on formulaic language through a photo analysis. Number 2. Discuss and understand what are idiomatic expressions and its common examples. Number 3. Comprehend ways on how to easily understand idiomatic expressions. Number 4. Summarize what you have learned about idiomatic expressions through a reflective essay. And lastly, number 5. Create and present real-life conversation using idiomatic expressions. So that would be our learning objectives, the things that we need to achieve at the end of the lesson. That is why, please bear with our discussion for us to achieve our learning objectives. Let's now proceed to the house rules. House rules. First, don't interrupt if the teacher is talking. Second, raise your virtual hand if you want to ask questions or answer questions. Third, turn off your microphone if you are not talking. Fourth, everyone should open their cameras, not unless you are having trouble with the internet connection. Teacher Girly would just understand that. Then, lastly, fifth, respect each other in the classroom. So those are our house rules that you need to keep in mind for a smooth sailing discussion. Are the house rules understand, class? Okay, very good. It's nice to hear that you already understand our learning objectives and our house rules. Take note of those, okay? Today, we will be tackling a type of formulaic language that has a meaning different from the meaning of the words in the expression. Before revealing today's specific topic, we will be having a motivational activity. Are you guys ready for today's task? I can see that everyone is ready. So here is the instruction. I will be giving you photos. All you need to do is to analyze the photos given. Is the instruction clear, class? Okay, good to hear again. Here is the first photo with a written text. It's raining cats and dogs. So what are your thoughts about the photo? If you have your thoughts, you can share your thoughts. Just press the raise button if you want to answer to be recognized. Okay, I can see that student A is raising his hand. Student A, you may now speak. What do you think does the photo and the phrase mean? That's correct. The photo doesn't actually mean that it is raining cats and dogs. It may refer to a storm with strong winds and heavy rains. Let's proceed to the next photo with a written text, "Hold your horses." What are your thoughts? Again, just press the raise button if you want to answer to be recognized. Okay? Student C is raising her hand. What do you think does the photo and the phrase mean? That's right. Same to the first photo, it doesn't actually translate its literal meaning. The photo doesn't actually mean to hold your horses. It means to say that you must wait and slow down. Congratulations! A job well done, class. All your answers are correct. Now, based from the activity, what do you think is our topic for today? Student A is answering, Okay, exactly. Based on our activity, our topic for today is all about idiomatic expressions. But before we start our class discussion, let me ask you first, what do you think are idiomatic expressions? Student C? That's correct. Let's have a virtual clap for student C. Idiomatic expressions are groups of words with an established meaning unrelated to the meanings of the individual words, sometimes called an expression. An idiom can be very colorful and make a picture in our minds. It means to say that idiomatic expressions make use of combined ordinary words that displays a different meaning from the literal meaning of the used words. It may also be described as an expression with words having hidden meanings. That is why idiomatic expression usually appears colorful and playful. That will really let you think outside the box in order to picture out its meaning. Did you get me, class? Okay. I will show you some common idiomatic expressions. First on the list, he let the cat out of the bag. It means to say that he accidentally told a secret. I know that you are familiar with this. Another example. She got off scot-free, meaning escaped without punishment. Next, he flew off the handle, or he went crazy. Understand? I know you are really familiar of those, so I will not dig deeper on it because later on, I will also give another examples and I will explain those examples. Those are just common examples, okay? We love idiomatic expressions and idiomatic phrases in English, don't we? From an English language learner's point of view, they are the icing on the cake, much like phrasal verbs and adjectives. But how do we remember what they mean and how to use them? We can memorize a few and try to use them as often as we can, probably too often. But how can we manage? Another question, how can we manage an idiom that we are meeting for the first time? I'm going to show you how you can easily understand English idioms. Firstly, you need to know that idioms and phrases are everywhere in English. Anything that doesn't have a literal or physical meaning is an idiom. Let's look at some idiom examples in a sentence, as I've promised. First, I find his excuses hard to swallow. He's lying. Second sentence, the police have been digging around in his accounts, looking for evidence of fraud. Third sentence, he's a really bright spark, so I think he'll do well at school. These sentences all contain idioms. The idioms are highlighted as you can see, and let's look why they are considered idioms. It is because you can swallow words or dig in a bank account in any literal or physical way. And how can a spark do well at school? You'll also notice that a literal transition into most languages won't make sense, so it means to say that they are idioms which can be used in any communicative context. These kind of idioms are far more common and therefore far more important than the more colorful expressions like he's kicked the bucket, which means died, she's hitting the books, which means studying, or break a leg, which means good luck. Without them, students often sound too formal. Students often sound too formal without idioms. Just like when students says, I don't believe in his excuses, right? Very formal. And then, the police have been investigating his accounts looking for evidence of fraud. Or, he is a very intelligent student, so I think he'll succeed at the university. Those sentences don't have idioms. So when students use those sentences in a conversation, they sometimes or they really appear too formal. In short, idioms are really essential to not sound formal in any conversation. Thus, it is really crucial to know, understand, and use idioms in communication. Am I understood, class? Great! To give you a more vivid discussions on how to easily understand idiomatic expressions or idioms, I will now give the floor to my partner. Teacher Franco, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Teacher Girly, for the comprehensive discussion. Once again, good morning, class. I am Teacher Franco Miguel F. Olarte, and I will be tackling the 7 easier ways to make English idioms and phrases easier to understand. First, let's talk about the first way, which is listening to context. Idioms are unusual expressions. So ask yourself, why is that person using an unusual expression? The reasons are likely to be connected with emphasis, exaggeration, or a high state of emotion. So check the context and the facial expression. It means to say that you must observe the expressions, how it is used, spoken, or delivered, in order to understand it easily. You may also base it on the sentence, where it is placed, or it's the situation where it is used. With that, you can easily grasp the meaning of the idioms. Is that understandable, class? Okay, good. Now let's proceed to the second way, which is to check to see if you have understood. Use expressions like, so, you're pretty angry about that, right? Or, okay, you mean that you're too busy at the moment? You need to clarify things so you'll know if you get what the speaker meant or not. If you ask, you could correct your mistake and then learn from it. Is that clear, class? Okay, good. Third will be honest when you didn't understand. Try using, I'm sorry, but I don't know what you mean, so that the native speakers could explain to you the idioms you didn't understand, which helps you understand the idioms they have used. Once they taught those expressions, you'll get to learn from them and apply it on future conversations. Okay? So we should be honest when you don't understand what the speaker is trying to say or the expressions they have used. Is that clear, class? Okay, good. Now let's proceed to the fourth way, which is never translate idioms. Never. Idioms from your own language may use the same imagery or concepts, and it is always interesting to notice these similarities. But they are unlikely to translate word for word into English expressions. If you translate it word for word, it will have the same translation, but the thought won't be there. Remember, class, if you translate it word for word, it will have the same translation, but the thought won't be there anymore. Is that clear, class? Okay, good. Now let's proceed to the fifth way, which is listen to how native speakers use idioms. A native English speaker never says, it's raining cats and dogs. Right, class? Yes. So why should an ESL student like you would say, it's raining cats and dogs? So listen to what native speakers actually say in a given situation and copy. Like what I've said before, we need to observe how they use those idioms so you'll understand what they meant and apply it. Is that clear, class? Okay, next, the sixth way is taking notes. Keep a notebook of your favorite expressions in English and add anything new that you hear. try to use new expressions soon after you learn them. This is called use it or lose it. Just like what you have observed on native speakers, listen and also learn from them. As you hear them using those expressions, try to transcribe them. Those expressions could be helpful to you on future conversations. Is that clear, class? Okay, now let's proceed to the last way, which is tolerate your mistakes. You will definitely make mistakes and create confusion when you use idiomatic expressions. So be brave and allow yourself the space to try, fail, and also try again. In the learning process, there would be times you'll understand the context or not. It is okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from those mistakes. Okay, class? Now I have questions for you, class. Again, what are idiomatic expressions? Okay, everyone is raising their hands, so just raise your hand if you want to answer. Okay, student A is raising his hand. That's right, student A. An idiom is a phrase or expression that typically presents a figurative, non-literal meaning attached to the phrase, which means that an idiom's figurative meaning is different from its literal meaning. Okay, thank you so much, student A. Now I have another question. Why is it important to learn idiomatic expressions? Again, just raise your hand if you want to answer. Okay, student B is raising her hand. Indeed, when we learn English, idioms and phrases, we will sound more confident, especially when we speak with native English speakers. If we can't understand idioms, we will not be able to understand the context. That is why we have gathered some of the most common English idioms, just like what teacher Girly tackled earlier, so that we can understand the phrases and identify its true meaning. And another question, give one example of idiom and give its meaning. Okay, student C is raising his hand. Okay, hold your tongue. That's right, student C. That's a great example because the idiom hold your tongue doesn't actually mean that you should stick your fingers in your mouth, right, and grab a hold of your tongue. It means that you shouldn't talk. Thank you, student C. And last one. Recite the 7 ways to make English idioms and phrases easier to understand. Again, recite the 7 ways to make English idioms and phrases easier to understand. Okay, student D is raising her hand. Yes, that's right, student D. The 7 ways to make English idioms and phrases easier to understand is to first, listen to context. Second, check to see if you have understood. Third, be honest when you don't understand. Fourth, never translate idioms. Fifth, listen to how native speakers use idioms. Sixth, take notes. And lastly, tolerate your mistakes. Very good, class. I think this section indeed listens to discussion. Well done. Now, let's proceed to our third activity, which is called Essay PC. Write an essay in no less than 150 words about what you have learned while learning what are idiomatic expressions. Please be guided with the rubrics on the next slide. Post your answers on the comment section. I'll be giving you 15 minutes to construct your answer. Your timer starts now. Remember, class, 15 minutes. Oh, student D is I'm asking a question in the comment section. How many points is the activity? It is worth 30 points. Thank you for asking. Okay, student A, yes, it will be 150 words. If you have still questions, just ask me. One minute left. Submit all your answers on the comment section because we will turn off the comment section later. Okay, 1 minute left.
T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay class, time is up. Thank you students for participating in this activity. I hope you have constructed an organized reflective essay. Now, I'll be giving an assignment which is called pair share. Find a pair and record yourselves presenting a dialogue using idiomatic expressions. Please be guided with the rubrics on the next slide. The video should be submitted through the Blackboard LMS. Video should be 3 to 5 minutes and the deadline of submission will be this Friday, 12 a.m. Is that clear, class? Oh, okay class, I guess everyone has understood the directions clearly. Before we end the class, we'll be having a photo walk. Turn on your cameras in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you class. That will be all class. If you have questions, feel free to message us.
Thank you and congratulations. God bless you, class. You may now leave the platform. See you next meeting.